little scenes where Mr. Ray Huger drops the Grand Dame off and gives her a kiss. Well, Ashley Darby, Miss Darby, might be shady and might be running after everyone with a tablet, but she is a very upset that the door has closed on her. What the fuck is going on? The Grand Dame says as she comes in because everybody is yelling, and the Grand Dame says, "What the fuck is going on? Grand Dame don't play." So this really is shaping up to be the season. I mean, there's a lot going on, but I love this whole Ashley and Giselle. Like Ashley is just, I mean, stepped right into those shoes. She's like Robin Dixon, who Ashley has been waiting for this for 9 seasons to be the number one sidekick, number one girl that is supporting Jizzy Jizz. And it is like GNA, gangsters and alcohol versus the Grand Dame. But the Grand Dame walks in and says, "What the fuck is going on?" And she is not pleased. She does let us know that she felt her birthday party was an actual inquisition. Look, the girls want to know. It made all the headlines, and the girls want to know the details of your DUI. Again, we're treating this much different than Shannon's DUI. I mean, they all want to know the details of that. But look, different production companies. You can't blame Shannon. You can't blame anyone. It's the production company. We're making Karens into something, and we give Shannon the same to edit. Um, they're really kind of the exact same thing. Somebody could have been seriously injured. Somebody could have died. And we just have two different things here. Yeah, drinking and driving. I got a big problem with it. I don't drive. I take Ubers everywhere. There, by the way, there's no point in having a car because everyone I go out with, when I'm in the Hamptons or LA, all my friends, we all take Uber. So everyone with a car takes an Uber out. But I got to be honest with you, especially there's this road in the Hamptons from Montauk it back to wherever. So when I go to Montauk and I take this road home at night in an Uber back to Sag Harbor, I tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, it is fucking scary. And a lot of people that live in the Hamptons feel the same way. It's just nothing ever happens. You don't necessarily see people swerving, but sometimes you see people driving a little over the line. I don't know. It just scares me. It just scares me. It's not your driver, it's everyone else. So, like, I don't know. I have a really weird phobia of drunk driving, like, and just being a passenger in a car. It's a weird phobia of mine. I mean, I am in cars all the time, but no fear of a plane crashing, much more likely to get in a car accident than have a plane crash. So, flying doesn't scare me. Anyway, don't get lost in the weeds, David darling. Where were we? Well, Karen reveals that she knew that the Uber passes were shade by Miss Darby. No shit. We said that at the time. She got 4 passes. Well, Karen just wants to remind us that you really want information. I have a court case going on and I can't give you answers, but when Michael, Mr. Dobby, was pinching a bunch of asses, 1, 2, and 3 times, you did not want to reveal anything. And then we do roll tape and we show the flashbacks that Miss Darby did not want to talk about Michael pinching the asses, most likely of the cameraman, the male cameraman of our HOP. How is our Mr. Darby doing? I'd love to see, we see Jamal, Mr. Bryant on this episode, Pastor Bryant. I'd love to see Darby pop in. Don't they have some divorce proceedings to work out? And is there a divorce going on? I don't know. I mean, we just had Drew Sidora on. Did everyone listen to our interview with Drew Sidora this past Monday? Still living with Ralph, but is honest about the fact that there was a divorce. I mean, what is up with Ashley Darby's divorce? What is the status of Ashley Darby's divorce? Because I don't think there's a divorce happening. I think this is a Kyle and Mauricio. Although, please, sweetheart. I mean, Sarah always says that Mr. Darby has a reputation amongst the DMV that, all of his business dealings have not always been successful. I can understand Kyle and Mo. Mo diddled and daddled for many years. Now he has the girlfriend. Kyle, got down dirty with Miss Wade. She's trying to figure herself out. I understand the assets. They're best friends to divide all that up. Michael Darby don't got no Mauricio assets. He don't got no Kyle Richard assets. So what is holding things up here? Just give Ashley $1 and send her on her way. We learn about Ashley's bunions, people. Welcome to Ashley's Bunions. That is right, everybody. Welcome to it. Miss Darby and her bunions. That's right, guys. I take notes. So if you hear me flipping papers, there you go. But Miss Darby has bunions. Okay. Stacy Rosh is a little confused. Welcome to the P, darling. The Grand Dame, really, this is serious. The Grand Dame is facing jail time. And did you guys see this that happened this week that where was it that they deny, is Karen in denial? Like, is she in denial? Because I mean, look, Shannon just got a slap on the wrist and she's doing her community service. What is going to happen to the Grand Dame, my friends? But Karen Huger's request to dismiss the DUI case denied by the judge. Due evidence was found. Lawyers argued that the search was an illegal search while detained. Officers found 2 beers in Karen's Maserati. She was unsteady on her feet. She was swaying. She was stumbling, and she was slurring her speech, allegedly. 2 beers, man, that does not help your case. But basically, what happened is, this brings me back to law school. Shout out to my law school class. And I actually ran into someone from law school this weekend out here in LA. Crazy, because I went to law school in New York. But this brings me back to criminal procedure. I liked criminal procedure, really. If I had to do it all over again, I would be a white collar criminal defense lawyer. That is what I would have, listen, I have no regrets in life. I do not want to go back and do anything over. I'm not one of those people. I just don't live with regrets. I think whatever happened, happened. There are other careers that I think I would have been great at. I think I would have been great being a psychiatrist, but I didn't want to go to med school. I'm not good about like cutting things up. And I think I would have been a great white collar criminal defense attorney. Would have loved to have done that. Just spent all day getting the rich and famous out of their white collar crimes. There's a lot of money to be made in that, and everyone goes to a camp a la Martha Stewart, and yeah, make a lot of money. So that's what I would have liked to have done. But anyway, basically, they're saying that she wasn't read her Miranda rights. So basically, the right to remain silent. Her team is arguing that that never happened. And the prosecution, the judge is basically saying, like, you weren't in custody. Like, if you admit stuff and you're not like in police custody, then you don't need to be read your Miranda rights. And they're saying she admitted all this before she was in custody. So basically, the judge submitted a response denying the request, stating that based on the Supreme Court cases, Huger's roadside investigation did not require her to be read Miranda rights. So it was a roadside investigation, and they're saying she wasn't formally in custody, and therefore she didn't need to be read her rights. Her team was trying to say she should have been read her rights, and anything she says can't be used against her because she was never read her rights. Like, if you read her rights, that's got to be read your rights. So, according to a motion, Huger filed paperwork to suppress statements and evidence from her DUI, claiming that she incriminated herself during a custodial investigation without being read her Miranda rights. The defendant's statements were not obtained as a result of a custodial interrogation because some of her statements were made while EMS personnel were treating the defendant for potential injury. So the EMS was treating her, and then she started blurting all this stuff out. So she didn't need to be read her rights, they're saying, because you weren't in official like police custody, so to speak. Personnel were treating the defendant. The defendant's statements made during this time were free and voluntary and were stated out loud while in the presence of police officers. So police officers were there, girl, but you weren't detained by the officers. Why did you talk? Come on, don't talk, guys. Additionally, statements made by the defendant were examined. Statements made after the defendant was examined by EMS personnel were not obtained as a result of a custodial interrogation, right? Because the defendant's subsequent statements were made while the defendant was temporarily detained pursuant to a traffic stop. The defendant's statement should not be suppressed, and the defendant's motion to suppress should be denied. So basically, like, she wasn't in official custody, so she didn't have to be read her rights. Good that they argued that it was an illegal search. That's great on her team. Smart move. The defendant was told she was not free to leave, her lawyers say. So they're saying, she wasn't free to leave. She was told that. So she should have read the Miranda warnings. She was not read the Miranda warnings. Do. All right, I'm beating a dead horse. Basically, Miss Huger's trial is moving forward. This is as Karen like in denial because this is serious shit. Um, Again, I don't know what we would have this season if we didn't have the OC got lucky, but let's not argue it. It's a good season. Um, Basically, there's Giselle, there's a cast trip coming up, and Giselle ain't pleased with Karen. She apologized.